Welcome back, everybody, to BSG Annual 2021. We are just going to dive right in with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, any percent on the PC by Rasschla. So, Rasschla, take it away.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Any percent. I'm Rasschla, and as you can see, the game looks beautiful. You can see almost every pixel, but I can introduce more when I'm already running the game. So let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Go.
There was nothing about the starry sky.
So we start immediately with some storyline, because we start with a beautiful 3-minute opening cutscene, and there's no way to skip it. Like, you see a button with next page, I can press it, but that's basically a debug mode thing which I had on when I started up this game. And yeah, there's really no way that I can actually make this cutscene go a little bit faster. Basically, I'm not even in gameplay yet. It's just a slideshow basically about telling the whole story. But yeah, this game was released on the PC in 2001, so it's basically 20 years old at this point. And yeah, this game is really broken, but you will see that a lot during this run. Like, we are going to fly, Harry's going to fly actually, and as you can also see, you see a little bit of black already below the slideshow. That's because I stretched my screen a little bit to make it possible to look under the screen, so that I can actually see a little bit what I'm doing when I'm doing a certain glitch, which I will explain when I'm actually doing it. And you will also see some numbers flickering all the time. That's my FPS counter, because I'm playing this game in Windows, and if you don't cap this game, the FPS at all, this one will run at least 1000 FPS, because this game wasn't actually made to play Windows. But yeah, the game is intended to be played at 60 FPS, and to make it fair to most people, to make it not pay to win, we kept the game to around 60 FPS, and that's why I have the capper. So you might not have noticed it, but I saved already a second by holding backwards, because if you hold backwards, this cutscenes run a little bit faster, and I will sometimes walk backwards into a cutscene just by that way I'm a little bit faster, and it saves quite some time overall. And you also saw me going into the menu, and the cutscene was still playing because I was reloading the game. And if you reload the game, so reopening the game while you are in the pause menu, you already the game keeps playing while you are in the pause menu. And we are also going to abuse that mechanic later in the run. I was just setting up a glitch already. But yeah, that glitch will be shown maybe at the end of this level, and otherwise in the first spell challenge. So, but first we have to do the tutorial. This guy one, which we apparently have met on the train, had to follow, and now he delivers to his brothers, who are twins by the way. And they are just going to show us how to move around Hogwarts. And I wouldn't mind to do what they are actually saying, because they say run into the bookcase. Well, in real life I wouldn't suggest to walk into a bookcase, because you wouldn't climb automatically. Secondly, we try to jump into ledge climbs because that way Harry gets a little bit of a faster climbing animation instead of actually walking into the ledge. So that way it's a small mechanic, but it's still something that you need something that you need to know, otherwise you will lose a lot of time. So, and here I'm basically already moving during the cutscene that Peeves is showing up. That's because normally, if you don't know it, Peeves will just run into you and you have barely time to move around. But if you basically move the way I did, you basically can just skip the way that Peeves hit you. And that way you can move around and get to the next bookcase. So here I skipped a cutscene where Fred and George explained that I needed to collect 25 beans, because we actually need to collect these 25 beans to move on in the game. And I'm now going to... Ooh, nice, I got it. Because also something interesting in this game is that if you take damage or are in a ledge climb, if you are entering a cutscene, you can actually move around with Harry during the cutscene. And that way I could save a lot of time instead of waiting. I could be already on top of the bookcase. So this is Malfoy, and we need to show him some respect. And I just love this cutscene, especially just the end of this.
Mind if I jump in with a quick donation?
Go ahead.
We just got 50 euros from Leo Kedron saying, I gotta admit that Trauma Center run was nuts. So happy to share it with everyone. Here's a fat donation as a thank you. And with that, we are closing in on reaching the famous Big Smoke Order cutscene in GTA San Andreas. We're only 41 euros away. So let's see if we can get that met.
Yeah, we really need to get that met. I've heard it's amazing. So I just skipped talking to Hermione because yeah, Harry doesn't like his friends and he just talking to her is a little bit slow. So we just passed her. She isn't entering this class.
That was a shaky effort.
And I had a little bit of a shaky effort. To be honest, all the lines that Quirrell is actually saying and most of the teachers are saying is RNG, and basically every line has its own length, so we have no control of it and we just pray for a little bit of good RNG. I think I had decent RNG, but it didn't look too good already. And basically you draw it once and you only need to draw it once correctly, and then the game is like, okay, you don't need to learn anymore. So that's very useful. So this is the first spell challenge. Every spell has basically a spell challenge. But yeah, we are basically in the first spell challenge. So we have only one spell. So we will only be using Flipendo all the time, and let's see if I can get a frame perfect super jump. I couldn't get it. Like, a super jump is basically frame perfect, and you need to jump as soon as Harry teleports just a little bit, and that gives you a little bit of a boost. But here we are going actually to knock over a cauldron, but we are... Damn. I actually missed the cauldron, so yeah, this game is not very forgiving. And I was actually supposed to jump on that little platform above. Unfortunately, I missed it, and I haven't missed that one in like 3 years. So, but I got the super jump, so at least I could show off a nice thing about it.
Done. Now, go on and
So, but normally we were supposed to be here already instead of walking all the way around. But at least we did some sightseeing, which is always nice. And you will see me jumping a lot because for some reason Harry's movement is just slightly faster if you just keep jumping most of the time. So if I go a long time in a straight line, you are just a little bit faster. So this is Nick. He is. You can find him 3 times in the game, but we will only see him once this time. But it's yeah. And he's explaining about save books, and yeah, we are going to take some safety saves for sure, because I will need them. Normally in Flipendo you don't grab any of the save books because they are a little bit out of the way, but I will grab one because there is something that I really want to show off, and I've practiced it a lot, but I'm kind of scared for it, and I'm explaining it already because I'm on my way to it. So besides super jumps, we also have some hyper jumps. They are just jumping up a slope. Harry gets a little bit of a boost, and that way we can actually skip some ledge climbs, which is really useful. So here you're supposed to take a block, but I really don't want to take the block. And here I'm setting up menu glitch, and I'm boosting up Harry. And beautiful audio, by the way. This game loves its audio, by the way. But yeah, I will explain the boost that I did just in a second, because I really need to focus here, because I'm going to try to skip a cycle. Damn. Okay, let's explain what I actually just did with the brightness boost. Like, I only will give that trick one try. This game, and actually the engine that it runs on, the brightness bar basically does nothing at all. Its only purpose is actually reflushing this the engine basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if the engine reflushes itself, basically if Harry is in a ledge climb at that moment, he gets a little bit of a boost, and if you keep doing it, Harry will just boost very high, and we abuse that a lot in this game by getting to places where we are not supposed to be. And yeah, it speeds up the game so much, and yeah, for the rest it basically does nothing at all. I'm kind of sad that the cycle skip didn't work at all, but too bad. I gave it at least an attempt. And here we get a save book to fight some gnomes, and I've actually done some damageless runs, and this is basically has been a really breaking point of those, because as you can see, they are really easy to kill. You shouldn't be taking damage of them. But because I was playing damageless, I was just so scared of getting hit. I took damage a lot there. I feel ashamed of that. And this is a beautiful cutscene. We will see it actually twice during this run. Because especially they talk a lot in the common room. I don't know why. So now we are at flying lesson, and flying levels in this game are a little bit funny. As you can hear already, the audio doesn't work correctly, and that's basically for all the flying levels. I don't know what's going on there, but later on we get Lee Jordan, and he just sounds amazing in the speedruns. So I'm going to fly through these rings as fast as possible, and I need to focus a little bit on it. So maybe the host has something to tell?
Yeah, absolutely. We are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. Due to the situation surrounding COVID-19, we're currently doing our event online for the time being. This event features streams from both Benelux and the rest of the world, bringing you entertainment during the lockdown. And while we do this, we are currently raising money for Mind. As you may have heard, but in every region in the world, mental disorders surpass 10% of the populations. And government seems to lack momentum in actually reducing the burden of mental health problems. As only like 55% of governments have mental health awareness, and only 8% have suicide prevention plans. Organizations like Mind help raise awareness of the issue and helping us one step closer to a world where everyone gets the help they need.
Thank you.
Keep going?
No, we are basically at the end, and we are now basically at the moving rings. But yeah, the collection of those are, even though I missed one, they are there. Like, it looks like they're moving, but they are. The collection isn't moving at all, which is kind of
quickly butt in, Rasschla. Apparently, I'm very quiet on stream, according to chat.
Okay, I will turn you up in basically now. Okay, cool. Should be louder now.
All right, chat. Hopefully that's better. Let us know. Apologies. Apologies for that.
Yeah, I really hope that you are able to hear it much more now. So, for some reason, Hermione is going to teach us a spell right now. And I don't know if actually FS if my own emotes are enabled at the moment, but I want you all to spam in the chat. Did you try the bookcase? Face Z, that's the name, I believe.
I think you need to practice more on your own.
Because that's basically coming up in this level, and Hermione could give us house points for some reason. I don't know how that works.
Minutes before the charms lesson, that door in front of you is magically locked. Cast Alhamora to open it.
So yeah, we have learned Alamora. We can now open stuff,
You've got it.
and
Can you find the
really important.
Try the bookcase.
Did you try the bookcase? That's just a line. If you walk into Hermione, it's basically only in this level, and it's kind of a meme, but within the Harry Potter community, to have spent. Did you try the bookcase? Because everyone needs to try the bookcase. So now I'm going to try to get a super jump. Otherwise, I could save like 40 seconds only in this part already. Unfortunately, it wasn't possible. Otherwise, I could actually multitask between two cutscenes at the same time and basically do a lot already while I'm still learning Wingardium Leviosa. So I like it actually that they. Wow, I actually missed the grades.
Do pay attention, Mr.
Yeah, I
Potter.
need to
That's
pay
not what I
more
taught you.
attention.
Keep trying, Mr. Potter. You can do this.
Yes, I can do this. I know it, Flitwick. Oh boy, it's. Why am I? That one wasn't too bad. That should
An
be
irregular version of the spell won't work, Mr.
well,
Potter.
Flitwick.
Keep trying, Mr. Potter. You can do this.
Yes, I can do this. Come on, chat, we believe. I was just going to say, yes, at least we got more than 50%. I really should go back into my books to learn the spell, because I was just going to explain most of the spells in this game have beautiful signs like
An irregular version of the
just,
spell won't
yeah,
work, Mr.
like
Potter.
Alamora has even a lock, and then you have Wingardium Leviosa and it's a W. I don't know.
Wingardium Leviosa challenge to practice the spell. Follow me, Mr. Potter.
So if I was to believe chat earlier, if you have a moment in the run where you're not doing anything and it doesn't actually impede the run, you're welcome to turn it up a little bit more still. But
Okay.
other than that, we should be at least a lot better already.
Okay, yeah, I will try to turn it up. I have just a lot, not really a moment soonish, so
Yeah,
But-
no rush on this one.
Yeah.
At least it should be audible now, which is something.
that's at least
Hi, chat.
something. So yeah, here they want us to walk around all the way, but we just use this cauldron, and I'm terrible with cauldrons today. Okay. Okay. Me and cauldrons are no friends today. So I'm just going to play it a little bit more safe by knocking over the cauldron, which makes it a little bit easier. And Harry can't really clip in this game, but blocks can. Well, some blocks can, and especially this block can. For some reason, Harry, this block, if it gets between the bars and Harry, you get. Okay, I killed the gnome. I wasn't supposed to kill that gnome, but yeah, he's he just has to be nice and sit on the ground. But yeah, for some reason that clip through the block can only be done once, and only at one of the two. And the other one you need to do basically the intended strats. And they really like their students here at Hogwarts, because they let us just jump around high in the tower, high on the castle. And for some reason somebody approved this. Actually, Dumbledore approved this, and yeah, I wouldn't approve this at all, actually. It's not safe at all, because if you fall down very hard. And here I'm just going to cast, and for some reason it deloads a cutscene with Flitwick saying, "Good job, Harry." And you can basically you can just walk straight to the end trigger. So here I'm first going to focus a little bit, because and then I'm going to explain what I'm actually doing here, because there's I need to pay attention to this, but I'm going to try to have multiple multitasks at one, and I need to. Okay, hit me please. He did hit me, unfortunately. So what I was trying to do was, well, what I did at first was skipping the peace fight and then activate the peace fights. And that way I could move around in the cutscene if he would hit me. And then I could use actually the letter to move around in this cutscene, so that I would be in the upcoming Malfoy fight, and where because if the last cutscene would have ended, I was able to move around in this cutscene and I could move basically straight to the door and just walk outside. Unfortunately, Peeves didn't hit me, so yeah, I can actually boost cool up a little bit more right now.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Yeah, it should be at best right now. And now we are just going to walk outside of the castle. Can the camera please move around? Basically, this barrier shouldn't be here because of the peace fight. Okay, game. This is something that I haven't experienced at all. Let's... then we did it the old way. It's also fine. You can just jump straight to the barrier if you're not holding anything at all.
Hurry, over here.
But yeah, normally the barrier should be gone because the peace fight is still active.
Hagrid, good to see you. These are the Hogwarts castles.
But yeah, something important about brightness boosting, which we haven't done much at this point. You get it.
To the greenhouse waiting for you.
Basically, you get a boost if you are in a ledge climb, but you can also get a boost if you take damage, and we are going to abuse that. But first, we are just going to walk straight into this wall to skip again a cutscene with Hermione. Harry doesn't like to talk with Hermione for some reason. And then we have some snails over here, which we... I don't like the position of this snail. I'm just going to jump backwards on this snail. And I'm on top of an invisible barrier. Let's see, where am I? And I can just skip basically doing this whole level. I'm grabbing this save book out of safety. Because otherwise, because I need to do another damage boost, and if it goes wrong, Harry might die, and then we are again at Hagrid, and we don't actually want that. So yeah, you can just do 2 damage boosts, and you save basically a lot of time instead of going to the maze and basically doing it all. So yeah, that went actually really good. Now one of the more interesting levels. At first, Mrs. Sprout doesn't look at all like she does in the movies, because Mrs. Sprout wasn't actually in the first movie, so they didn't know how she would look like. So they just made a little bit of a sprite of her based on the books, basically. So yeah, but I to be honest, I really love this Sprout, this sprite of Mrs. Sprout, Sprout. And also something really interesting about this spell challenge, like most spell challenges are just one level. For some reason they made this level into 2 parts. I don't know why, but there is actually an Incendio B level. Like, you will see a loading screen. I don't know why they did that, to be honest. But yeah, I love Incendio. I love really the spell. We will only use it a few times. And the upcoming gnomes, yeah, you actually need to defeat them, because otherwise those doors actually don't open. I've tried it before, and they don't open.
challenge stars to complete
I was
this
trying to
lesson.
get another multitask in here by getting hit at the moment that I was actually killing the plant. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But yeah, if you have a question, what's my favorite spell in this game? It's Flipendo for sure. Because everyone loves Flipendo, right? And it's not Nintendo, even though people think it's Nintendo. So yeah, as you can see, we brightness boost already way more than before, and basically the further we get into this game. Come on. Okay. Here I got a multitask by getting actually hit by the gnomes. That way I can be already at this door. Don't hit me if I go into the cutscene, otherwise I soft lock. Trust me, I've done that before. It's not funny. Basically, if you get hit at that point, you're already past the trigger, and you basically need to reload the game at that point. But yeah, we are now in the second part, and for some reason Mrs. Sprout has also some really big plans who tried to bite us, they tried to kill us. It's I'm just happy that I'm not a part of Hogwarts, to be honest. So here I'm basically running two cutscenes at the same time, and as you can see I can move around Harry already. So I've run this game already for 4 years, and so far I found actually only one strat, and that's basically this strat. You get into a little bit of a ledge climb, and of course it doesn't work the moment that I do this doing a marathon. But you're supposed to be all the way up already. You can hit the Flipendo switch, and basically you're happy at that point. I called it actually the res, but yeah, I need to practice the res maybe a little bit more. So here another thing of brightness boosting combined with reloading, because if I change the brightness while the game is still running, yeah, you can boost up that high, and if you did this puzzle with just hitting all 4 of the switches, you did something wrong. You only need to hit one switch 4 times. And yeah, we don't want to talk to Mrs. Sprout again, so basically we end the level here, where Hagrid is waiting for us, but we don't want to talk to Hagrid. Even though he's a good friend of ours, we just skip his cutscene all the way by having a little bit of a hyper jump and then getting onto the bushes to skip Hagrid. But he only invites us for getting a cup of tea after flying lesson. But yeah, I know this game, I know what to do, so we don't really need to do so. But yeah, basically we are not going to do some flying lesson. We are actually just gonna chase Malfoy, and you need you can do this really fast. Like, there's really a big, this is actually a really decent long level. It's really great design, but yeah, we have to catch him far before the Cave of Shame, because if you get into that cave already while still chasing Malfoy, you have basically failed as speedrunner, in my opinion at least. So that's why I call it the Cave of Shame. But at least we didn't got that far, so I'm a happy guy.
I'll be able to find my toad now.
So we got the remember for Neville back, so, and now he's calling for Trevor.
I remember now. I left Trevor near the herbology class. There are plants there that eat toads.
Oh no, there are plants that eat toads. Neville, I'm a little bit scared for you, but and especially for your frog, but I'm really afraid for it. And this is Mrs. McGonagall, Professor McGonagall. Maybe later this week we are going to drop her off a stairs. But now we are able to play Quidditch, and we are now part of the team. But they have their first Quidditch match later this afternoon, so they didn't have all of the players yet, even though the game is later this afternoon. Something sounds really wrong. And now we are at the forest edge, and for the longest time the biggest skip was actually just in this level, because it's a beautiful long level where you walk around, fight nature and everything. But already really early on we had a different strat with a super jump where we could get already to the end of Forest Edge, but with boosting it's even way easier. And so we can basically skip the whole part and walk straight to the end. And now we are for a cup of tea with Hagrid, and this level is interesting because it has already a huge skip, but there is potentially a bigger skip, but it's a little bit of a myth. Basically, the end trigger of this level is in this house, and if we could move Harry around just a little bit, we could basically walk straight into the end trigger and skip all of this level. Now we are just we are going to skip doing this level because Hagrid is a little bit of a liar. He says that he needs fire seeds, but I can say you, he doesn't need any of the fire seeds, because we are not going to collect any of them. We are just going just outside this door, and there's a Doxy, which can actually kill you, is coming for us. Is he stuck? Are you stuck? He's stuck, good. Basically, we can boost up and get back to this point, to the trigger of the end cutscene almost. And basically we finished the level already, but the game is a little bit confused already yet, because at the end of this level you teleport back to this level, to this part of the level, and then Hagrid is here. But now we are here, but Hagrid isn't here. So the game is basically 2 minutes spending to search for Hagrid, and it's always 2 minutes, and then he will show up just for a frame or so, and then we are able to move around again and we can get in. And for the rest, I've basically nothing to say anymore until we are at Quidditch. So cool, you have like 3 minutes at least.
Sounds good, sounds good. All right, so as we've mentioned, we are currently raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental health issues themselves or within their families. All of your donations will go to Mind, so definitely worth putting your money to. And when you do, we've got a few things that you can put it to. We have some donation incentives going. There is actually one coming up for the next run, which is the famous Big Smoke Order cutscene in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That is currently sitting at 109 euros out of 150, so we are almost there, but we do still need to hit that. And then for later on in today, we have the category upgrade for Sonic Robo Blast 2. That's currently beat the game, but we can change that to all emeralds. That still needs quite a bit. That is sitting at 5 euros out of 250. So we still have some ways to go there. On top of that, when you do donate, we have a bunch of prizes that we're going to be giving away after this event. There's a few prizes that are running throughout the entire event, such as the €25 and €50 gift cards for various gaming platforms. And of course, the grand prize, which is a custom controller made and sponsored by Delfino. For the gift cards, they are sitting at €5 and €10 respectively, minimum donations across the event, and the controller at €15. That controller is sponsored by Delfino Customs, a console business located in England. They specialize in customization, modification, and repairs. If you use the code BSG2021 on any orders up until August 25th, you'll get £5 off your order. If you customize your controller cable with their paracord service, an additional £5 will also be donated to the charity. You can message them directly on their Twitter page, and they also have their website pinned in their tweets. Still more time?
Well, I will explain a little bit about quiz, and then you have more time. Basically, Quidditch, it will be explained now all the rules, but we don't care about the rules. We just need to catch the snitch as fast as possible. And if I do it correctly, I will only play 10 seconds of quiz, and for the rest is cutscene. So go ahead, cool.
All right, so for the other prizes, we also have a Sonic the Hedgehog figurine that we're going to be giving away. Figurine / cable holder, controller stand. That prize is only going to be available for donations up to tomorrow evening. So you only have a limited amount of time. Any donation of €5 or higher will make you eligible to win that. For all of the conditions, check the donation page. Then, while we're at it, I'd quickly like to mention that you can consider using your free monthly Prime Gaming subscription right here on the ESA channel, or a regular subscription. Both get the same result. You'll get access to all of the ESA emotes, as well as several BSG emotes, and you get to support both events in the process. All of that money will help us grow these channels just that little bit more, so very much worth it. On that note, we just got a €9.01 donation from Sniper Wave, which just has a smiley face. Thank you very much for your generous donation.
And I think we are at 700 now.
Yeah, that puts us at 700. Let's go, everybody. Fantastic. That's gonna, like, especially with Mind being somewhat of a smaller charity, that is going to do a tremendous amount of good. So yeah, do keep them going. I think that's the end of Quidditch-ish, isn't it?
Yes, that's the end of Quidditch.
Perfect.
So thank you, thank you, Cool. Of course, every money that you give to such a charity is helpful. But yeah, we are now at normally not that interesting level. But because of two really big skips, we can save a decent amount of time. And I'm actually comparing against worst segments, and for some reason it's my worst segment is 4 minutes, where my best is around 2 minutes. So yeah, it saves like 2 minutes, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more. And this guy's amazing. Please stop that. Like, you need to valid your run always by just walking into him, where he would say, please stop that. But yeah, I'm going to skip first actually the most beautiful cutscene in my opinion, just because of the history I have with this cutscene, which is one with Professor Snape. I need to focus a little bit here. Because I'm really close to the cutscene trigger at this point. This angle looks good. Yep, here we skipped the Snape cutscene. And one is waiting here for saying Kickaboo. But he will stand there until the end of times. And we are now supposed to learn Lumos, but we basically know Lumos already. So we are actually just going to skip learning Lumos. At least I hope so. It should be. I'm just trying to clip a little bit into the railing for getting actually the whole clip, but Harry doesn't like to clip today. Oh boy. This trick is always something. Sometimes I get it first try, sometimes I just spend 4 minutes just jumping on here, but I'm sure that I can get it. Come on, Harry. A little bit more. Come on. Yeah, I'm really... I thought I clipped for a moment, but unfortunately I did not. Okay. Nope. Still, this is still faster than actually doing the spell drawing at all. Like, I'm trying to find a certain angle which should me be being able to clip. Maybe the host... Well, do you have anything left, Cool?
Yeah, I mean, I can always talk about more stuff. That'll be just fine. I would quickly like to thank ESA for supporting our event and letting us stream on their channel once again. For information about their upcoming events and any changes due to the COVID-19 outbreak, be sure to check out esamarathon.com. And if you'd like to participate in an event similar to BSG, I'd also highly recommend checking out UKSG. UKSG is an event normally held in Glasgow, running 4 times a year, supporting Crisis, currently also doing their events online for the time being. So that is definitely worth checking out. I see you've a different screen than before, so I'm assuming you got it.
Sure, I got it.
Yeah, I kind of looked away. I didn't actually see what happened.
No,
there, so.
to be honest, I abused a save state, which if you jumped into a save while Harry saved, you get a little bit high to get over the railing, because otherwise I wouldn't get it. So unfortunately, I had to cheat a little bit. But
it happens, you know, for the sake of the marathon.
Yeah,
No harm there.
So yeah, now we are in the Lumos challenge, and Lumos is a little bit bright. So of course we are going to abuse brightness boosting a lot in this level. And you will also, basically every gargoyle has a cutscene after it. So after I've hit Lumos, I will always walk backwards, because that speeds up basically every cutscene of a gargoyle. And yeah, it's just amazing, and I just love this level. It's just amazing. It shows off what you can do with actually brightness boosting. It basically breaks this level on such a beautiful way that I just love it. And as you can see, I have 8 challenge stars at this point. I haven't turned them into a teacher at all, and basically I'm going to give it to the last teacher that we encountered, that we are going to give our challenge stars to, but it isn't for Professor Quirrell. It's actually for a different teacher who really loves challenge stars. I think he's going to give us a lot of house points just for the challenge stars. And I saw a question about if I'm going to grind this game again. I'm not sure yet, but I can say I had really a lot of fun by actually de-rusting this game for this marathon. So here there's a peace fight, and it's really hard to skip, but basically all you need to do is not picking up the challenge star, and it's really hard because you want the challenge star, but for some reason I did it, and I don't know how. And here's another Doxy that wants to kill us. But also a fun mechanic about... Wow, there's a hidden platform here, which I grabbed for some reason. But something about Doxy storage is as soon as a Doxy wants to kill you, Harry is in a state that he can use spells even though there isn't a target for it, because normally you can only hit spells when there's a target, but if the Doxy is active, you can hit the last spell that you've used wherever you want. So I used the Doxy storage to actually hit the end trigger of Lumos, and that's why we did had to talk to Professor Krull and could straight to the end of the level. I could also have done the same as I did with Flitwick before. As soon as a spell went through that, I would deload the cutscene and could walk straight to the end trigger, but using a spell is just a little bit faster and a little bit easier, because I'm not for sure when you have actually deloaded that cutscene at all. So yeah, now we have a little bit of a weird classroom. We need to get some potion ingredients.
I wonder if Snape tricked me.
But it's a trap basically, because Snape had a trap for us ready. And yeah, here's a really hard puzzle, which I basically skipped by... Yeah, Harry. According to Hermione, that's Molly. But there's a puzzle with some blocks, but just using brightness boosting, you can basically skip that whole puzzle. That puzzle could actually soft lock before. Like, one of the blocks could just get stuck and there was no way to recover it at all. But hey, it's a spell challenge because it has challenging stars, right? So... Oh boy, I had to be on that platform. Well, we are now at the platform, and also something about moving platforms, you get a little bit of a boost, and sometimes we abuse that boost to get a little bit further than Harry would normally with a normal jump. I just take this jump a little bit more safe, because I've died there and it's not funny at all. I'm grabbing this save book, I don't know why, but marathon safety, I guess. And there's another challenging star, and now we are at the point where me as a child was really scared, because you got the Bloody Baron, but if you just jump through the Bloody Baron, there's nothing he can do to you. Normally if you just walk and he is at your spot, you take some damage, but if you just jump through him, there's nothing to fear about. And I killed here the first two gnomes, because they are the moving around gnomes. And so the other gnomes are just waiting basically for the timing for them to move around. But because the first two gnomes are basically killed already, well, they are not killed, they are just relaxing at that point. So save the gnomes, let them just relax. you can walk easily through them and they are not doing anything weird. So yeah, Dungeon B. Basically, during that loading screen, I had to hold forward, and that way these platforms won't move at all. Oh boy, that's not high enough. But yeah, because these platforms don't move, we can easily do this. There's a cable a little bit stuck on the spot that I didn't want it. But yeah, this boost, it looks easy, but it's actually really a hard boost. This is probably one of the hardest boosts, and I have lost a lot of runs just to this boost because it's you need to get the ledge grab, you need to get enough height, and you also need to move backwards enough to actually get onto that pillar, which. And we jump again through the Bloody Baron. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these two are actually... Now we have two really interesting gargoyles, because these are the only two gargoyles that don't have any cutscene with them. So I don't walk backwards in these two. Because why would I? Because I can just move around. There's no cutscene. And here's a saving book, I think, maybe if you die to the Bloody Baron. But yeah, for the rest it's not that difficult. And now we are just going to boost straight to the end. Normally you're supposed to use the block. But I don't want to use the block at all. And I'm going to use the block. Because using the block is also cool. Come on, Harry, can you please just hit this block? Thank you. I haven't hit this block in a while, but yeah, basically you also need to hit that block only once. And here, trying to get another super jump. Ooh, nice super jump. And another one, nope. So there's our favorite teacher, Professor Snape. He's waiting for us. And we are going to give him all our challenge stars. I believe we have 12 of them.
Challenge stars, but I'm afraid they have no value in my classroom.
Snape doesn't like our 12 challenge stars. We should get at least 1 house point for those.
Join them if you must.
So yeah, we are already at Halloween at this point. And
Harry, a huge troll is on the rampage.
oh
It's got
boy,
Hermione in the gulf.
there is a huge troll on
She
the
needs our
rampage.
help. We must try to rescue her straight away.
Yes, we are first year students, so we need to save Hermione. Of course, Ron doesn't know what to do. I don't trust in Ron. You know what? I will just save Hermione from the troll. Well, actually, that's not true. Just because of my movement, I'm way ahead of what the actor should be at this point. So he just moves a little bit too soon to the left, and he gets stuck at that point. And this troll is not in the bathroom. But now we get a little bit of an Indiana Jones by having this troll following us. And as a kid, this part was just terrible. I was stuck here for the longest time. But basically, all you need to do is follow the beans. Because the beans are actually indicators of what you need to do. Blue means, well, just follow us. Green means there's a jump coming up. And pink actually means, hey Harry, you need to jump here. So if you had trouble with this before, the game actually gave you indicators for this, even though they don't explain this at all. Which is actually kind of funny, because I was stuck for months here, and I'm also a little bit relieved at this point, because there is some weird collision somewhere in this level where you can just clip through the floor and you die straight away. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just awful, and you are straight back to the beginning of this level, and you lose like a minute just to something that you have no control of. So Hermione, if you look really closely to Hermione, she's actually helping the troll. Like, she's giving him all the stuff that he needs to throw at us. And it's really important at this point that the troll can't hit one. Because if he hits one, basically the club of the troll is going back to somewhere, back to a save point, I guess. And yeah, so basically every time that one is hit, you lose some time because the club is going backwards instead of going forward, and that's not fun at all because we are dependent from one, and I always say you can't say wrong without one. That's one of the jokes that I really like to make. And now the troll throws away faster, but yeah, good job, Ron. You didn't do something wrong.
Thanks for saving me. Is he dead?
By the way, why couldn't Hermione, the best student of her year, handle this troll?
Exhausted from their encounter with the troll.
So this cutscene, we have basically seen this before. It's basically the same cutscene it's the same cutscene as after Flipendo. Just a little bit of different lines, but it's basically the same. And we are going to play Quidditch again. But again, it's the same as before. We are going to try to play this in like 10 seconds or so. I have never timed how long this gameplay actually is, but we just enjoy the commentary of Lee Jordan. He is a living legend within the Harry Potter community, because just how his audio is just messed up that much, and we just love it. But yeah, that was a really good Quidditch, and as you can see, this whole level is like around 2 minutes. But I have only 10 seconds of gameplay. For the rest, I do nothing. I only watch cutscenes. So, there's a little bit of storyline here about Norbert and that we get a Christmas present, which is the invisibility cloak. And it's a good thing that we got this for Christmas, because we are going to use it actually in the next level, the next 2 levels, which are my most favorite levels, but also my most hateful levels, because it are basically the sneak levels with Filch, and if Filch finds you, you lose some time, and we will walk around him very closely. So it's also intense to just walk past him. Like, basically, I will walk straight past him, and something really important is, if you walk on the carpet, Filch can't hear you. If you walk onto the woods, Filch can actually hear you. But I believe we have another donation, right?
Yep, that we do. That we do. Sorry, I was still checking it because I hadn't actually had a chance for that yet.
I'm sorry,
Um,
I just saw it.
it's all good. It's all good. We just got 20 euros from the DM Panda saying, "Here's 20 euros to make Nick Nack Nick and Cold Cypher's lives so much more exciting." Yeah, exciting. They won't suffer at all, I promise. And that I believe went to the Cyberpunk incentive, which and I'll get back to you on that incentive momentarily, but
Yeah, and as you could see, basically in the previous part, I really abused the part of that Phils can hear me on wood to move him out of the way. And also being on the carpet that he stopped hearing me at that point. And this is always a scary part because he's so close. But if you just move in time, he just barely not grabs you. So I love this room. This room is amazing. When I was a child, I've seen more of this room than I actually wanted. Here I'm just going to wait for Fields because you can actually walk standing basically next to him, but yeah, it's you're standing on wood, so there is a high chance that he's able to hear you, to find you, and you need to do it all over again. So here I'm a little bit of a cycle, and I should be fast enough. Like, as you can see down there, Phils is actually supposed to be in front of this door and you need to wait for him. But because we are just that fast and we actually know what to do, we are fast enough that he gets stuck behind the bookcase and yeah, we can just go straight to where we are supposed to go, and that's basically all the scary parts of Fields, but there is... you know what? We are running already. Normally I would try to do kick jump at this point, but I will just be like 10 seconds slower by actually activating this Lumos Gargoyle. It's a little bit safer. It loses only 10 seconds by actually activating this, because normally you're supposed to hit 2 different Lumos statues, but because of brightness boosting, I see a little bit of a pattern. Most of the times that we use Lumos, we also use brightness boosting.
so to quickly get back on that incentive, the money went to the starting path for Cyberpunk, specifically the Nomad one, which if I'm to believe DM Panda is, I assume, the hardest of the 3 options.
And how far are we into that incentive?
It's a choice because there's 3 options you're given, so that one's currently the leading choice.
Okay.
But that can still be changed to either Street Kid or Corpo. I admittedly haven't played Cyberpunk, so I don't really know the differences between them. But, you know, for any Cyberpunk fans out there, that's how you can change it.
So yeah, we are at the end of Fields 1. I missed that boost just a little bit by not having a ledge grab, but I'm so happy that I grabbed that save book, because normally I wouldn't, and yeah, that would lose a lot of time, so I'm happy. And as you could see, I walked backwards into that cutscene to make it a little bit faster. And now the fun begins, because Fields is on this bridge, but Fields is kind of slow and we are speedrunners. So we walk past him. And that's just a little bit joke for me, because most of the spells in this game are done also with a Whispering Harry, but there are actually no plants in this game. But at that point, you can actually cast Incendio on Mrs. Norris, which is just a joke that I really like to show off.
You'll not get past me now, you rotten
Well,
gutter snipes.
Fields, I have to talk to you. I will walk past you now, actually, because you will just follow me, get stuck behind this bookcase, and basically we walk past him. And yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
Intruder!
And yeah, I'm going to take a safety save here because if something goes wrong here, I need to do that whole part again with the cutscenes and all, and I don't like that. But yeah, we are actually going to use, going to try the bookcase again, because normally you're supposed to do a lot of stuff here. You get a little bit of a tutorial from Nick, but we are going to skip that because the way we jump into that bookcase, because normally you're not supposed to actually grab that bookcase, but you get a little bit of a boost from the lantern next to it, which makes Harry just high enough to actually grab the bookcase. And we still got a little bit of Nick because Nick was right there. And here we find the Mirror of Erised, or the Mirror of the Sire, and we have a little bit of a storyline here. So I don't know if the host has still something left, but there won't be much left for the upcoming time.
It's all good. I can find things to talk about if we need to, right? So let me quickly check what I still had to say. Right. We would like to remind you that aside from the BSG events and their own marathon, ESA also hosts many other events across Europe, including the British UKSG. They've got Hackathon going on and many more like it. Be sure to drop a follow to see whenever something is live, and even when they're not live, you've got a ton of reruns of fantastic old marathon runs, so pretty much just round the clock content for you to enjoy, so definitely worth checking out. And if you missed any of the previous runs and you'd like to check that one out specifically, or if there is a run on the schedule you'd like to see but you're going to be asleep for that, because that's a thing, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Get subscribed because we have some cool unique content coming, so do check out youtube.com/BSG Marathon.
Well, thank you, Cruel. And at this point as a child, I was really happy at first, because it almost looked like you were done sneaking. No more Mrs. Norris on the bookcases. No more Fields who walks behind you. But as you can see, I grabbed this safe book out of safety because there is still a part with Fields and Mrs. Norris coming up, and it should be fine. But yeah, you never know what's going to happen, especially when I'm running this game. You never know what's going to happen. And as you can see, there they are again, and we have had a lot of different threads for this room. Actually, it was also FPS dependent, because we used to play this game at 106 FPS before, and that way we could just walk here straight past Fields and just get to his switch immediately. But he will grab you at 60 FPS. So then we did first Mrs. Norris, then Fields, and then end with Mrs. Norris again. Well, as you can see, I'm not doing that either. At first I do all of Mrs. Norris, and now I'm going to the Fields parts. I do this because at the end I want to activate 2 cutscenes at the same time. And you can basically do that at both points, but the difference is basically on the other side there is a Mrs. Norris, and she will catch you if you are way too close to her. So that's why I end with Fields, because Fields doesn't really care. And as you can see here, well, if you know this game, I've basically now activated 2 cutscenes at the same time, and that way Harry can move around already. I'm not going to move around really, because there is a way to get past this already, but yeah, a little bit of a marital safety, because if you fail it, you get grabbed by, you get found by Mrs. Norris, and you need to do it all over again. So here are Fred and George, and they want to give us actually a wizard card. But we are playing any percent, not 100%. So we actually don't want a wizard card. So basically what we are going to do here, we just walk past the trigger of going down with them, and we walk straight to the end of the level. And yeah, that was basically the sneak part. And now we get a little bit of the last storyline, like the whole title of this game, The Philosopher's Stone, wasn't mentioned besides the intro cutscene. It wasn't mentioned anywhere. And now for some reason the game is like, well, let's just explain everything. Like, we've done some research. This is the Philosopher's Stone. Somebody wants to steal it. It's something that growled at us, but nothing growled at us because we basically skipped that part.
He may be planning to steal the Philosopher's
But yeah,
Stone.
Snape, he was very suspicious. He didn't want our challenge stars. So really, we really need to stop Snape at this point.
Let's go!
And we have to use almost all our skills that we have used before, everything that we've learned in this year. There's only one spell that I don't use at all. And there is one spell that I will use, even though it's not...
It looks like Filch is somewhere else.
I don't have to use it, but I like to be at full health at this point, and I'm not completely at full health.
Come on, let's go.
So I'm always getting this first chest, because there are 2 Shocker Frogs in here, because they want you to be at full health. And also we are going to find a really huge dog, and oh boy, that dog gave me some nightmares when I was young. I spent so much time on this dog. It's that basically the dog has 3 heads, if you don't know it yet, and it's a little bit of RNG of basically there's one that gets to sleep very fast, one gets to sleep kind of medium, and one that takes a really long time to get to sleep. And I have no clue which head is which one. That's the fast one. That's... I think this is the slow one. So yeah, I'm first going to put this one to sleep. I don't want to get bitten by this dog, because I really want my health at this point. And maybe I will get bitten here, yeah. I will get bitten here. Because otherwise one of them would maybe still wake up. But now he falls asleep while he's trying to bite me, so he won't bite me again. And that was basically Fluffy. It's a little bit of RNG. I didn't got good RNG, but it was still fine.
No, I don't.
And
See you in a minute.
of course, we sent one first. I would really like to imagine what would happen if they would hear nothing about one. And those sounds, those sound really good in my ears. Like, I'm like, well, that doesn't sound good. Let's not do this. But we jump down anyway.
I know what this is.
And now we have to use Incendio
Next time
again.
I'll pay more attention in herbology.
Help! It's It's a devil's
and
snare.
Hermione just has to mention twice that this is actually a devil snare. Well, this fight is actually kind of easy. All you need to do is just spam a little bit of Incendio, and I think we are 1 hour and 20 minutes around in the run,
Harry.
and Harry doesn't know his name anymore. So after every line that they just mentioned, they had to say his name. I don't know why, but they just want to say, "That was close, Harry. This way, Harry. Thank you, Harry."
Time to put your Quidditch skills to practice.
And now we need to play Quidditch again. I can't do this within 10 seconds because this one takes just a little bit longer. But it shouldn't be too long. Like, this one is going to make a turn, and after the turn we basically... Come on! Wow, that was... We get more Quidditch. Come on, get in the hands. Got it. That's basically a little bit of RNG of when the key is basically getting into the hand. And it's actually possible if you grab the key at a certain moment, you will actually see 2 Harrys in this cutscene. Unfortunately, we didn't got that. And now the biggest run killer. Chess cutscene skip. Basically, there's a cutscene coming up, and I'm going to try to skip it by going on some invisible barrier, but I give it like 3 tries, and after that we will just watch the cutscene because it's a little bit finicky, and it's really hard, and especially if you are on PB pace, we couldn't clip into the pillar, so I will move on straight. But basically, we were supposed to skip this cutscene at this point.
But I've been hurt. It's up to you now.
But yeah, for marathon's sake, let's just keep going, and let's just play a little bit of chess.
You'll have to make the pieces fight each other in order to get across
And
quickly.
this game of chess
Harry,
isn't
start the game.
your normal
Careful.
game of chess. Basically, you just need to make sure that the pieces are attacking each other. And I've seen people actually trying to play chess on this level, and it didn't work, of course, because you don't play chess in here. And I actually need to pay a little bit attention. Okay. Like, I haven't done this puzzle in a long time, but I know the order. It's just basically walk here straight to the right, and the pieces will just come to you, but they are not fast enough to come for you. And yeah, this is basically the way that you do this puzzle. So if you haven't done this puzzle, now you know how to do this.
Come on, let's go.
And we are now going to basically the end of this level, but we still have a lot to do because we've also had a potions class. I will not bump into Hermione here, otherwise she don't open the door. But here there's a really long mini game with some potions, and you need to find the correct one to walk through it. Well, to be honest, I don't have time for that. BSG doesn't have time for that. The game wants me to do it now, actually, but that's why I grabbed a save book, because if I get a wall walk here, basically the floor is lava, and if I can skip just this little part, here you go, second try. But we don't have to do this at all, and we can just walk straight to the next part, where I will grab a safety save book, because we are going to encounter Snape, because we need to stop him at this point. He wants the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone, depends on where you're from. That doesn't look like state, but I think Crow is going to help us at this point. Of course, Crow's going to help us.
Wait, what am I gonna help with?
No, Crow.
Oh,
Yeah, cool,
you're
Crow.
confused for a
It's
second.
having words with the letter R are just terrible for me. Like, I just have an. I know I have an interesting R, and
it's all good. I just for a second it sounded like you were calling on me, and I just got very confused there.
no, Crow is trying to kill us, and I just hope that you're not trying to kill me.
I would hope not. No.
So yeah, basically you need to do 2 blocks here to actually get at this part. But yeah, we abuse brightness boosting, and now Crow is going to hit us to actually get us past a trigger for a cutscene, which I actually managed to do. So I'm really happy about this one, because these are 2 really scary boosts that you need to do. And we are now at the fighting Voldemort already, because we skipped a fight, a cutscene where Voldemort would reveal himself. And this fight was something when I was a child, and even when I was older. Like, I beaten this like half a year before I started actually speedrunning this game, and it took a really long time. But basically, if you do the same movement every time, Voldemort just does the same. It's this fight almost feels like being on a script. Like, I would almost compare it. Okay, that's not what I wanted, but it's fine. Like I said, I know the mechanics of Voldemort, and time is coming up pretty soon. Basically, after the next hit, you will see Voldemort die a little bit, and as soon as that cutscene starts, it's time. So, time! And yeah, that's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. A lot went wrong, but I was still pretty close to estimate, so I'm still happy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The follow-up of this run will upcoming Wednesday, where I will do Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So, and after this we have GTA San Andreas by Record, and I'm going to give it back to the host.
Well, thank you, Rasschla. We're going to go into a very brief intermission here as we get set up for GTA San Andreas. That'll also be it for me for today. I'll be handing it over to Double, so we'll be right back after the intermission. Stay tuned and let's have some fun.